All right. So I went to in a foreign country, went and did jujitsu at a local place. Just kind of looked them up. Just to give a little review. Number one, I forgot how much I really don't like doing the gi. I've just been doing no gi since I started, and then yeah, I mean, I've touched it every once in a while. But I guess the main reason I didn't like it is the Gracie style of doing it, where you come in and do very specific techniques, mark it off, or I haven't, not that I've been to many Gracie gyms, but one of the first gyms I went to did that little Gracie checklist thing. And it's cool. It's effective for like if that's what you're looking for out of jujitsu. But I'm a hobbyist. I'm a dad, husband, father. I just want to come in, maybe learn a technique or two, and then roll. And before, when I was younger, when I first started jujitsu, I wanted to do competition style stuff, to take it somewhere. So I was did more of the competition style, a lot of jujitsu with the wrestler guys, no gi, and well, I like that. And that's kind of what I like to do now. But as I got better and I became a hobbyist, now I can roll with white belts, blue belts, purple belts, and I can still dictate the pace. Unless they're the competition purple belts, then that sucks. That's not a good time. I'm always exhausted after those rounds. But for the most part, I can control the pace. I can dictate how hard I want to go. What I don't like about the style of jujitsu at the place I went, this place was actually, it was good. If that's the style, if you like gi, if you like doing the techniques and just, you know, you come in, you do your 15 minutes of warm ups, you're doing your shrimping, you're doing your side winders, you're doing your front rolls, you're doing all that stuff, gets up a good sweat. And I'm a major sweater. So then for the rest of the time, I'm just pouring sweat while we're doing techniques. But if you like doing that, you like coming in and doing the technique to check the box, and you are learning something, I think that's great. I think that's excellent. It's a good way to learn how to control your body. It's a pretty good time. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I'm not beyond learning new techniques, but I'm beyond coming in and not beyond. That's probably a bad way to put it. I just don't want to. I don't want to come in and do a 15-minute warm up. I skip those. I want to come in, do a technique or two, and even at the gym that I go to regularly back home, I'll come in and I'll do the technique, but then I'll branch off a little bit and kind of do whatever thing I wanted to learn that day or whatever I wanted to work on, adding on to the technique that's being learned. I'm not just ignoring our coach. He's an excellent coach. And everything he teaches is usually something I need to know. But I came into this gym and I didn't bring, I don't normally wear a gi, so I had to buy a gi, and they didn't have my belt. So I walked in and just had a white belt on. What was really cool about this gym is it was free. That's awesome. If you just he said if you're just dropping in every once in a while, then it's free, which is really cool. Came in, people were super friendly, shaking hands. Um, Again, there's a language barrier there. I don't speak their language; they don't speak mine, so it's just for the most part just shaking hands, saying hello, and that's it, which was still cool. Made me feel welcomed at least. We did a 15-minute warm up. I was super sweaty, and I was probably the only one. So I'm old, bald, so I don't have anything to stop the sweat. Not fat, but I'm big. My friends would say I'm fat. Yeah, and then we went into technique, and they are a gym where they test. So they test for the next belt, and there was a couple blue belts that were testing to go to purple belt. And because of that, they're like, okay, we're going to go over these sweeps that we have to do that the blue belts are going to have to do for the purple belt test. And we went over like 15 for the entire class. One of the things that I liked as a someone who's been to quite a bit of jujitsu gyms, and I thought this was an excellent example of the professor being aware of a situation, and just like covering it right away. So he had everybody partner up, and then it was just me and a girl that was left with that didn't get partnered up right away. Now I'm not opposed to working with the girl if I know the girl like at my home gym, I'll drill with the women that are in our class because they know I'm not weird and I know them. It's different. But he right away saw that it was me for all intents and purposes. I'm a brand new 220-pound white belt who's in his class, and he's got his female blue belt that's not paired up. He saw that and just came over and he was like, oh, and he paired her up with one of the upper belts and he said like, oh, you can just work in. He spoke English, so he was like, you can just work in with one of the other groups, and that's what I did. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was him looking after his students in a very practical way. You know, I think another case where that would also have been an appropriate thing to do if he had a student that was injured that he knew was injured. And then again, I'm just some big guy showing up the first day, a white belt. Like, yeah, no, we're gonna move this around a little bit. And I guess in my experience, I think most of the jujitsu coaches I've ever seen or worked with would do something like that. And then we did technique. We did 15 or so techniques, all about sweeps. And I mean, it was good. It's repetition. There's nothing wrong with getting repetition on the fundamentals. I wouldn't come in and necessarily do them. They were gi sweeps. I really don't do gi if I do a competition. I'm most likely not going to enter the gi part of the competition. I don't enjoy it. And as a hobbyist, looking to be the best in the world, I'm just not doing it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to. And then class ended and we didn't roll after class. I didn't like that either. So, I would, if I rated this school overall as a jujitsu school, I'd give them a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 because it was a good class. They were professional. They did go over technique. The atmosphere was good. They were friendly. I think they had another room that I could have went back to and started rolling. It wasn't announced publicly. Uh, but again, that comes back to I didn't bring my belt with me. So, you know, if we had a private place to go roll after a class, maybe I wouldn't invite the brand new white belt that I don't know. It's from another country. Maybe I would. At our gym, we, just like most gyms that I've ever been to, you come in, maybe you do a warm up. Most gyms do a warm up. I just skip them. I know I'm that guy. Come in, do a warm up, do technique. And I like it where in the jiu-jitsu gym that I go to, we do technique and we build upon that exact technique. It's like, hey, this is you know, you're going to start with hand fighting, and then after hand fighting, you're going to enter into a single leg. From entering into the single leg, you're going to do a takedown, and from the specific takedown that you're going to do, you're going to pass guard, and from passing guard, you're going to do X, Y, Z, and then maybe from the single leg, you're entering into legs or whatever, right? It progressively builds on whatever the first technique was. So by the end of the class, you have full on uh, a full on technique from beginning to end. You have something. If you're a brand new beginner, you could just work on the very basic part of getting it. If you're someone more advanced, you can move on to the more complex part of the gym. So this isn't bashing on gi. This isn't bashing on Gracie style schools. I'm a brown belt, been doing no gi. Again, let me reiterate that I'm a hobbyist, right? I do jujitsu for fun. I'm not a competition brown belt. I'm not going to IBJJF and winning competitions. I'm not going to who's number one and or ADCC. I'm not doing that stuff. I'll jump into local competitions for fun, maybe to test my metal every once in a while. So, I generally do okay. But if I were to go against like a legit Gracie brown belt, it would be just as hard of a roll as with any other brown belts I currently roll with. So I'm not knocking that style. I just don't like the style. I don't like it. It's not for me personally. Um, yeah, and so that's kind of my rant. One of the hardest things that I found about being in a traveling, and going to jujitsu gyms is one, I realized how spoiled I am back home with the gym that I have and the people that I know. Nothing beats going into a gym where you know everybody and you kind of know the process of everything. And you come in like you have a good coach who knows you, and you're like, hey, I need to start working on, passing guard because I really suck at it. All I'm doing is entering into the legs, and half the time that doesn't work because I suck at legs too, and they just get on top of me and smash me. You know, so if I have that issue, my coach knows that, and he'll show me a step by step. But about traveling, nobody knows you. I went to another gym in a different country I was in, and again, the I've always it's been a warm welcome. The jiu-jitsu community is excellent. I haven't been to a gym where they're not welcoming me into the gym. But I went in, big dude. I'm a big-ish guy, 220 pounds, and showed up to a no-gi class, and nobody, again, they don't know what belt I am, but they just see I'm a new dude, a big dude. So the first dude they send over to me is like a big purple or brown belt, and I do okay against him, right? He doesn't sub me. I'm on top half the round. He's on top half of the round. So then just the next guy's another big upper belt, then another big upper belt. And it was just like an hour of getting worked. I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I don't remember if I got subbed or not. It's training, so probably did, but I definitely didn't sub anyone. So one of the things I like to do when I go to a gym for the first time is I go and I take it easy. I'm not going in there trying to kill anybody. I'm not trying to prove anything because I don't want that to be reciprocated back on me. I don't want to get hurt. I do got to get up and go to work, right? I got a job to do. And, you know, jujitsu is a huge part of my life. It's something I will always do. My kids do it. And I think it's excellent, but I'm not going to get hurt over it. I'll take time off if I need time off. So, yeah, if you're do your research, if you're traveling to other countries, then that's usually what I do. Look at the class times. I always try to find a place that has no gi. So I probably won't go back to this gym. I'm going to try out another gym in this upcoming week that has morning time wrestling classes and morning time no gi. So that'll be cool. We'll see how that goes. See if I go and get worked over by these guys. Yeah, Nova is a good time. All right. God bless.